Okay, guys. So in today's video, we have something that's just a little bit different. Um, I have an item in my films that is kind of synonymous with the Menard character. Uh, almost wherever he goes, he wears his red hoodie, his blue T-shirt, and his red Hawaiian Punch hat. Um, Usually, I try to slip that in somewhere in my films, but when he's in casual attire, like that's he's in his red and blue. Um, that being said, this particular item, it has almost generated a life of its own, a fan base of its own per se. Um, but it stems back from uh, back in the day. I used to always wear red and blue, which is why the Menard character wears red and blue. Um, and the Hawaiian Punch Hat was something that I always wore, religiously, which is why I have that in my films. Um, that being said, after so many years of wearing it, all the time, the hat wore down. Uh, so I tried to find it, couldn't find it. Then one time, I found it on eBay, and I was like, gotta find it, gotta get it, gotta buy it right now. So I did, because again, it's one of those things where you wouldn't think it would be hard to come by, but surprisingly it is. It's not like you can just go randomly buy the hat. For some reason, it's kind of hard to come by. I mean, when you can find it, it's like great, cool, it's there. When you can't, it's like oh man, it's kind of rare. I don't know why. I don't think there's really anything super de duper special about it. It's just a cool looking hat to me. But for some reason, like they just don't sell them much anymore. So when I do find them, I kind of tend to be like, oh, I got to get another one. So that being said, I have several different variations of them in my film, and if you watch the films, you kind of pick up on the fact that I do have more than one. So I do have the in the early adventures of Menard, he has the kind of fresh looking Hawaiian Punch hat. Doesn't have any emblem or button or anything here. Just has just fresh hat.
Daddy, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing a video about my hats, buddy.
Oh, why?
Well, because I'm doing a video on my hats.
Because I thought you was playing with me.
Well, Daddy can only play with the Play-Doh so much before it gets to be too much Play-Doh.
But
Don't eat the Play-Doh, buddy. That's not what it's there for.
but I got the cars.
I see it.
The Play-Doh cars.
Well, I love playing with cars, but
No Play-Doh cars.
oh, Play-Doh cars. Oh, okay. Well, okay.
So I'll be out here in a few minutes.
All right. Well, I will be out in a few minutes. I promise.
Me too.
Okay. Joys of fatherhood. So, so I have this fresh Hawaiian bunch looking hat. So whenever Menard's in the younger days, I tend to use this one if I can find it. And again, like my hats are all kind of put up. I have this huge hat rack that my wife bought me. So if I try to put them back in order, but I'm a slob. I don't know what to do it. So, eh. And then I have this one that I have kind of a. These are in my newer films lately, which has the engineering tag button on it, which is just kind of a throwback to my Starship Valiant days. And this is still a fresher looking hat, but there's a little bit of edge and wear on here. Um, and then I have this one that he wears in the Constar days, which is just kind of all tore up, and it has seen fucking better days. It's just completely trashed, and I very seldom wear this one, just because it's not very good to put on camera. But in you know in a crunch, I'll wear that one. I usually wear this one, which has the Superman emblem on it, and it has just enough wear where it looks like he's in the 23rd century, and it has just enough wear on the brim here that it looks like it's aged perfectly. It looks like Menard has you know been through the ringer with it, but it's still holding up. So those are the four Hawaiian Punch hats that I have those are the reasons why I wear them in the different eras that I can, if I have them available, or if I remember, because usually I shoot like 5 films a time. But anyway, so that being said, long story short, I am going to keep 3 of them, and I am giving one away. The biggest fan, I think, of the Hawaiian Punch hat has been a certain individual that I've come to respect a lot. Um, he he always seems, super interested in the films. Whenever they come on, he kind of pays a closer attention, I think, than most on certain details that when I put them in, I'm like, I don't know if anyone's going to really notice this, but I think he picks up on it. And here recently, we've been talking about the Phantom, and getting more of his ideas on the Phantom, because I'm curious on that. And I thought, he really likes that Hawaiian Punch hat. Like he's almost a bigger fan of the hat than he is Menard, I think. So I thought, well, I'm going to send him a hat. Um, I have so many. Like, why not? Um, and I gave him a call and asked. I said, hey, would you want one of these? And he was like, yeah, I love it. And I was like, well, I know some people sign hats. Would you want that? Or I mean, I don't really have much of an ego, I don't think, but so I don't know if people like is that really a thing, or is that he's like, oh, I'd love that too. Yeah, absolutely. So here is uh, here is the hat, complete with signature. I hope I did it right. I've never really seen a hat signed, so I hope I did it right. But this is the hat, complete with the Superman emblem, which is my or pin, which is my favorite one. And I've told him the story behind why that particular one is on the hat. Um, so yeah, it is. It will be on its way. When I ship off all the DVDs from the raffles, I will be shipping that off as well. So Daniel Vance, um, you will have your own Hawaiian Punch hat. Um, you know, uh, so yeah, I like to give back to fans of my films. Um, because without you guys supporting my films, I wouldn't be where I'm at. You know, years ago, I was held back and held down from people who were just looking out for themselves. And if it wasn't for your guys' support, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. So this is my way of giving back and saying thank you. Um, so all right, guys, I'll quit rambling because that's what I tend to do. So I'm gonna go play with some Play-Doh cars and go be a dad for a little bit. So all right, guys, keep on geeking on.